Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery here with another bow hunting tech tip for you, and we're going to talk to you today about some basic crossbow maintenance. Crossbows are easy to own, shoot, hunt with, but you got to maintain them. If you don't maintain them, you're going to have problems. So one of the first things in crossbow maintenance is before you use it, just visually inspect it. The limbs. Run your fingers over all the edges, what you're feeling for any splinters that may be flaking out. You may not be able to see them, but if you run your fingers over them, you can feel if there are little fibers, little carbon fibers starting to pop out. You don't want that. That's indication of a limb that's starting to crack. That's a problem. If you feel that, stop immediately and take it to your pro shop. Look at your cams. Do they look like they're seated properly? If anything, this is your crossbow. If anything looks out of place, don't be afraid to stop and take it to your shop and have them check it out. Check all your bolts, your connection. Every crossbow is going to have a spot where there's a bolt that connects the bow to the stock. Check that out. Make sure it's tight. If your stirrup, your foot stirrup is connected by bolts, check them. You don't want that pulling free when you put your foot in it and you're cocking the crossbow. Look over your bowstring. If it's a compound crossbow, you're going to have a bowstring and you're going to have cables. If it's a recurve crossbow, you're just going to have this main string. But you're going to want to look at it. Look for fraying in the string. You're going to see little strands popping out. You're serving. Basically, you're going to have two parts to every bowstring. There's going to be the string material that's going to be twisted. You're going to be able to see it. And anywhere that the string or the cables come in contact with something, like the rail, you've got your center serving, or at the cams where the string goes around them, you're going to have what's called serving. It's another string material that's wrapped over top of your bowstring to protect it. If you're looking at your serving and you see that it's starting to separate, if you see flat spots, if you see areas where you see it's fraying, that's a bad sign. You don't want to shoot that crossbow, take it to your pro shop, and usually they can just take that serving off and replace it. It doesn't necessarily mean you need the whole bowstring or cables replaced. That can be a simple fix, but just take it in. It will affect crossbow performance. So, the two main things that you're going to need for crossbow maintenance are some sort of rail lube and a string wax. We'll start with the string wax. As I mentioned, there's two parts to your string. You only want to put the wax on the string material. You do not want to put it on your serving. So you just want to rub it on to the string material and then kind of blend it in with your fingers, run your fingers up and down so you're spreading the wax around and working it into the fibers a little bit. As I said, you don't want to get it onto the serving. What can happen is that wax can cause your serving strands to separate, and that's a bad thing, as we mentioned. You want to wax your bowstring anytime that they start to feel dry to you. If you see what looks like little hairs flaring off of the string material, that's an indication that it's dry. Just make sure you keep it waxed at all times. One thing you don't want to use your bowstring wax for is you don't want to use it to lube the rail. If you put string wax on top of the rail, that can build up back in the trigger mechanism. It can affect your safety. It can affect lots of things back in the trigger housing. You don't want to do that, so do not use bowstring wax as rail lube. Instead, get an approved crossbow rail lube. You don't want to use a basic oil like WD-40. You want a silicone-based crossbow rail lube. You're just going to take some of that, put it on the rail as far as you can reach it with the dispensing device, and then just take your finger and run it up and down to spread the lube out, including underneath the string. You're going to want to keep that, you're going to want to make sure that that rail is nice and lubed. And what that does is there's a lot of heat that's created from this bowstring riding along that rail. This lube helps minimize that heat and minimize damage to your string. Crossbow manufacturers have a lot of different recommendations for how often you should lube the rail. read up on your crossbow, see what they recommend. It may be every 10 to 15 shots, it may be every 2 weeks, whatever they recommend. Just make sure you keep doing that so that you keep that rail nice and lubricated, minimizing damage to your string. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can check us out at lancasterarchery.com.